All right, we got Dr. Nelson here to answer a few more questions and to talk about a few things that everybody wants to know more about.
This is scattered stuff, and it's now Friday, August 30th,
Wow.
2019. Goes by quick, and it's very humid here, so if I look like I'm sweating, that's why. So Caitlin says, does Dr. Nelson feel the need to retain certain cores for a Hermy test? No, I don't. It's basically, you can test this till the cows come home, but when we test you with what we do, we'll find out very quickly if you have mold. So I mean, you can do a lot of tests, and sometimes it's a waste. All right. Sarah Dvorak Martin. I had the genetics and require methylation Bs, and when I take them, I get super depressed. I have weird thinking. I cannot tolerate them. Why? I have heard from other groups, and some people still can't tolerate them as well. Number one, liver. Folates work in the liver, and the only reason people are telling you you have the MTHFR gene is because you make more glutathione and it becomes more inflammatory. That's a subject for a whole nother day. And a lot of people are using glutathione for inflammation actually get worse because it goes from reduced glutathione to oxidized glutathione, and reduced glutathione is very protective, oxidized is not. So that's a liver problem. Now, I bet you if I tested 65% of the population, a lot of them are positive MTHFR. It doesn't mean much unless you understand how the gene expresses, which is a SNP, and at a point we can talk about a SNP, but not today. All right, next, Jessica Barrera. I was taking Protan, and it claims to greatly reduce oxidative stress, and I was seeing reduced symptoms. Does Dr. Nelson have a similar supplement? Yes. We have a couple. We have one that's called BioProtect, and the best one is the stem caps.
Stem caps, yeah, I took those.
And if you want to know about stem caps, if you text me or call me, I can give you Julian's number, and she'll tell you all about stems.
Yeah, she swears by that. She grew a lot of her hair back from it. Yeah. So,
Stem is very, very good. Broad-based antioxidants advertised like that, they will help, but there's steps above that. The stem caps are way above Protan. Jessica Barrera, how can I get adequate protein with vitamin B12 if I'm wanting to change to a more plant-based diet? You're not.
Yeah, you need the meat.
You need to eat the meat.
But she does say she eats meat probably once a day and eggs most days.
Okay, that means that she's not processing B12 in the liver, or her hydrochloric acid is low.
I had those problems.
So you have to test for hydrochloric acid. Let's see.
Oh, but she's wrong about that. You need to eat meat. If you can't get the great quality, still you need to get meat.
It's new because.
But it's best to get grass-fed. But if you can't, still.
There's B12, there's folate, there's B6, there's D-L-methionine and carnitine, which is all build muscle and is heart protective, protects heart muscle. That's what.
Right. Okay.
All right. Next, Claudia. Dryness in the nose. Well, it could be yeast, Claudia. It could be any one, a number infection. High pulse rate could mean infection. It also means that you're out of alkaline ash minerals, which is calcium, magnesium, potassium. She reminds you about the.
Yeah, and then the pressure on the trachea she was asking about.
It could be parathyroid, could be lack of vitamin D, could be your liver, could be your gallbladder. Most common, liver gallbladder. Back up. All right. Jennifer, do you know about tapering Valium and adrenal support? Yes, because you have to understand, Valium lowers adrenal, and adrenal support increases adrenal.
Good.
Yeah, I know how to do that, but again, you well, I guess I can't get Nick's number right now, but you can call me or text me at.
Yeah, I'll put the numbers in the video.
Scott's going to put the numbers in the video. All right, next. Wendy French Babley, please ask him in order of detoxing when you have mold or organs first, mold first, parasite. Most times, not all the time, and this is why with fibro people, you have to look at this as multiple infections to figure out what is worse. But the big thing is you have to open up the detox pathways: skin, liver, kidney, large and small bowel.
Dr. Nelson knows how to increase methylene very well, and that is a problem with us. And he knows how to increase that to get it out from the kidneys, the bowel, the liver, and the skin. He knows how to get it all out.
Or get it out, yeah. And it takes you.
It takes time.
Takes time. Takes like a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Lukey Fenical. Does vitamin D3 heal or harm osteoporosis? Well, first of all, it has to be the right D3. We have the right one. Very few companies do. But you also have to combine it with vitamin K.
Interesting.
You also have to combine it with the right B complex.
Don't you have a supplement called Osteo B2 that will work well for...
Yeah, but it's not absorbed that well. There's other things that are better.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that either.
Okay, what else? Jessica, I wish you'd make an appointment. Curious an option on juicing. Well, everybody talks about oxalates as being inflammatory. In some cases they are, some cases not. The best juicing, and I don't have the bottle here, but you don't want any additives. You want to make your own if you can. Spinach, a little bit of cabbage, avocado, and then, believe it or not, a little bit of cinnamon powder in there for flavor. Cucumber's good. Celery's good.
Yeah, good.
So, I mean, that, I do want to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I think he was going to talk about parasites.
Well,
or whatever he wants to talk about, really.
I'm going to talk about misunderstood metabolism.
Okay.
Carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins are the major constituents of food as serves as fuel molecules for the human body. The digestion breaking down into smaller pieces of these nutrients in the alimentary canal, which is basically starts in mouths and ends up at the anus, and the subsequent absorption and entry into the bloodstream of the digestive end products makes it possible for tissues and cells to transform the potential chemical energy into food. Now, everybody thinks all these sugars is what builds you up. It doesn't. It's protein. And that's why all you sugar people have problems. The major absorbed end products of food digestion and monosaccharides, mainly glucose from carbohydrates, monoglycerol, and long-term chain fatty acids from lipids, oils, fats, fish oils, things like that. I'm not crazy about olive oil. And small peptides and amino acids from protein. Once in the bloodstream, different cells can metabolize these nutrients. We have long known that these three classes of molecules are the sources of human metabolism. Yet it is common misconception, especially among the undergraduates. This is a graduate course. That human cells use only glucose as a source of energy. This misinformation may arise from the way most metabolic textbooks explain energy metabolism, emphasizing glycolysis, the metabolic pathway for glucose degradation, and omitic fatty acid or amino acid oxidation. But at a point we'll discuss the absorptions of these things, but largely this is misunderstood by a lot of people. So
we got about a minute left on this video before the probably cuts off. So.
I believe in high protein, low carbohydrate diets. I always have. The clinics I work with, the cancer clinics, is high protein, low carbohydrate.
Didn't you work with Atkins too? Yeah, so that's interesting.
Atkins, we eventually developed what's now called the keto. We didn't patent it, we should have. And all that is high protein, low carbohydrate. I'm not going into the drinking man's diet, but that was many years ago. But his principles still apply.
Sure.
Adulterated or changed sugar flavors, things like that, is not good.
No.
The cells do not recognize what these things are.
Right.
Health food stores sell kombucha. They sell a lot of fermented stuff. And
Stay away from that.
Yeah, if you have mycotoxins or yeast, you do not do well on ferment. Vinegar and oil, stuff like that, you just don't do well.
Right.
And I mean, that's all the questions for today, folks. We've gone through quite a bit of stuff. I don't know how we're going to do this at a distance, except we can always set up a phone call or something, and Scott can get the questions and ask me that.
Yeah, that's no big deal. We can figure it out. But I just want to thank Dr. Nelson and Nick and everybody for having me here, because today's my last day, so I'll be flying home to Texas tomorrow. And it's been a very enlightening, interesting trip.
Well, he's going to learn. He's learned a lot of things, I think.
Yeah, I think, for somebody like Dr. Nelson's invaluable. So if you can work with him, I highly recommend it. But
Scott's going to put the phone numbers up.
Yeah, I'll put it on YouTube. And,
You're running into a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Be careful driving, traveling.
Oh yeah, we'll be careful.
I just read in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, we're not anywhere near there, we're about a 5-hour drive. There's going to be over 350,000 people in Las Vegas this weekend.
That's too many. I'm staying away from there.
How can you even enjoy yourself with that many
You
crowds?
can't. I mean, it's best to stay away from crowds, but Dr. Nelson and I both have to give all the glory to God for what he knows and for what he's done through Dr. Nelson and Nick too. But we're gonna say goodbye.
I just want to say, I talk to a lot of people off of Facebook all over the U.S. We're very fortunate here. A lot of people out of country don't get the same kind of care, and a lot of people have been put in a position of self-treating because they are not getting the proper medical care, which I really believe is functional medicine and naturopathic medicine done right. Obviously, it's not just traditional medicine. That's just a person you have on your team. So if you're proud that you've gotten yourself a little bit better or somewhat there, that's great. But our experience has been that we have a lot of people who are very educated come to us who've tried self-treating and they just are lost. If it was that simple, 4.5 years into it, I've got a little bit down working with the best, but even I have questions about how do you do this, how do you do it. There's a constant learning process. So it's not, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, and you can just go to your vitamin store and get what you need, but it's not that simple.
It doesn't.
Here's what people don't
Thanks,
get.
Nick.
We don't arrive at this stuff by going to a recipe book.
Right.
I go back through all the biochemical studies. I have research studies and phone calls all the time. So you wonder why some people have higher fees than others. It's because you're complex cases, and it depends upon the individual person how bad you are.
Right.
I could tell you this, the more you self-treat, the sicker you are.
Yeah, that happened to me. I've talked about this a lot, but trying to do it yourself, you'll ruin some part of your body that you don't even know you're hurting. I didn't know I was hurting my liver because the liver doesn't really feel pain. But when I got to see Dr. Nelson, it was working at 3%, and he got it up to 100%. I mean, it took some time, but
it took him 6-7 months.
Yeah.
But you guys need to understand, and I've said this before, you're buying garden variety. You're buying garden variety supplements from a health food store, even a doctor's office, and they don't have assays by the FDA. You're actually hurting your cells and hurting your liver.
Yeah, it hurt your pocketbook.
We have companies that we use that have the FDA assays. There's a big difference. So,
Well, not only that, but with the knowledge and how to prescribe it correctly so you don't overtake it. Because it's easy to go, I need to take more.
pieces and stages and rate of metabolism. And with my knowledge and background, I could do that.
That's right.
So that's it.
That's it, everybody.
See you next time.
Have a good weekend.